Welcome, everybody. I am Blue with my co-host.
I'm
Gold. The joke will never end. We just need our Team Rocket kind of speech when we start the show.
Oh, God.
I'm Dan, and as always, join my lovely co-host Tessa, the Nat Queen.
I am lovely, apparently. That's good to know.
You very much are. You are a pleasure and a pleasant person to be around.
Ooh, I was having a big argument with all of my friends today. They all say I'm not cool, so I'm going to count you as calling me cool. So,
The amount of times I've been called not cool, and I border between somewhere in funny and oddly weird. At least at work, so you know what? I wear that shit like a badge of honor. Hi,
cool
Scott.
Hi, Scott.
I'd like to shout out something because my channel is like on the verge of hitting a milestone. Not in subscribers. I actually lost subscribers this week.
Same.
Thank you for posting to subscribe. But that didn't help. I got none, and then we have 3 viewers. All right. So Scott is one of my co-hosts on the Dune Over, where we discuss the Dune novels. For some reason, I don't know why, the algorithm is magic. We're almost hit 2,000 views on the first episode of the Dune Over season 2. I have no idea why in the algorithm it hit that. It's at 1,920 right now, which is ridiculous that it ever hit that.
Well, congratulations. I guess not enough people are putting out Dune content.
No, and like literally we did Dune Seinfeld. Scott's kind of in my brainwave and stuff. Like I started doing like Dune Seinfeld, and then he was doing the Kramer parts. And we figured out something in the Dune novels where they talk a lot about furniture, flooring, and filing cabinets.
I'm really glad I've never read Dune.
Don't ever say that around Jen and I, because she'd be like, listen, this is the Bible.
And I don't like that either, so.
I'm not a religious person either, but like between Planetary and Dune, those are like my two, like if I was going to go door to door, be like, hello, friend. Have you read the good book? And hand them the omnibus of Planetary and be like, no, come on. Like, hey, what's the deal with spice? Anyway, 2 giant things dropped this week from Marvel. Like, usually I don't give a shit when Marvel announces anything, but they got the rights back to Micronauts, which is a hugely... People love that shit from the 70s, like between that and Shogun Warriors. And then ROM, which, like, since the show started, I was like, well, they're never reprinting it, so I'm going to go buy the run.
The main headline. I'm only missing a few issues now, and of course now is when they're going to reprint it. So,
issue 75... the newsstand one now is more expensive than the direct market one. Like everything else newsstand.
I believe I have 75. No, I keep all of my like ROM stuff separate so that I can like read them as they come in. Ugh.
There's one of the annuals that for some reason is ridiculously expensive all of a sudden.
No, I'm missing 75.
Yeah.
71 through 74. Ugh.
So 75 and 1 are the 2 most expensive issues, and annual 2 or 3. Bro, like, so when the omnibus comes out, we're going to do like the opposite of John and No Good Comics, and we're going to do the Romnibus.
Romnibus! Oh my god.
We're going to go issue by issue.
Content. I wanted to do that anyway. I was going to do that just for myself, like, out of like the back issues when I completed it. I was like, I'm going to get 3 views and I want to do it anyway. Now there's an omnibus.
That series. I love that fucking series. Like, it's so good. It's better than it should be because it was like a shitty ass plastic toy that sucked with light up eyes and made like weird sounds, like whoop, whoop, whoop. And then they tied into X-Men, which
I'm sorry. It made sounds like, what was that? No, I think the connection like wonked, you know.
It was like whoop, 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 whoop. It was the worst sound ever. Like it sucked. And then when you like start showing like him using the neutralizer in the comic, you're like, that fucking sound doesn't match. And it's like the weirdest thing because like when I first was introduced to Wolverine, he was Australian in the Spider-Man His Amazing Friends cartoon. So like when I finally found out he was,
I guess
when I finally found out he was Canadian, I was like, they fucking lied to me as a child. Like, damn it.
Was it just the accent? Were they just like, what's a Canadian accent? I don't know. This is close enough.
I just don't think they gave a fuck. Like, he's literally like, oh, it's a shrimp on the Barbie. And made a skewer with like a fruit and shit on his. I hate it. Like, it's like everything that could be more wrong. But it was a kid's cartoon, so I guess you couldn't have him just like murdering everyone. I mean, you could. Like,
Yeah.
You really made a cartoon out of Rambo, and like he murders people constantly. So this episode we were talking about indies, and we've had people talking about their actual Kickstarter launches, which are probably the most indie you can go right now because you're self-publishing. Which Judah hit his funding, by the way. Our last guest, Judah.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. So his book was coming out. So very happy for him. I've backed a bunch of Kickstarter campaigns. I'm sure you probably have as well. So like for me, like indies are probably that's the true indie now because everybody's self-publishing, even established people like Scott
I
Snyder.
adore I think a step more indie than Kickstarters are like zines that people make at like Comic-Con and stuff. Like, I love this stuff. I have magazine holders full of them.
I know, was it Stapled Spines or something? Oh, God. He's someone out of Portland. I was actually
so like every other comic thing?
Yeah, pretty much. So one of the books I backed, and I've known the writer for a while because I bought a commission from his partner like years and years before that because now she is doing the covers for like Lady Death and a bunch of like Lady Demon and stuff like that. Colette Turner. So her partner put out this Murder Die Senpai, where it's very manga influenced, is about a demon who kind of eats everything, and she's kind of polyamorous. She poly everythings, but also she loves donuts. So it's a super fun read that I totally love. It was a really fun read. It's actually in color, and he is writing issue 2 currently right now. And then Jen and I interviewed Carla Nappi, who worked on a book called Duplicant. She was also a showrunner writer. Yeah, so we had her on the show and interviewed her. She only got up to issue 5 because she lost her publisher.
Ooh.
So, and now the writer strike's going on because her TV job's kind of in jeopardy now. So, but Duplicant was present, and when I had her on, I was like, "Hey, like this reads like a TV show. Like you could easily do a series out of this." And it kind of just—I don't know if it just got lost or because it was with a small publisher. Because I think it was like Second Sight or something like that.
That sounds right.
Yeah, it was something like that. So what was your introduction to indies?
I mean, one of my first comics ever was Saga, so it probably has to be that.
Well, yeah, I guess. So it's a weird thing because I had someone go, well, Image isn't.
That's fair, yeah. When you said indie comics, I didn't realize we were going indie, which is great. I also love indie comics.
So I think what I'm gonna say will be our floor is the comics that didn't hit, like we love that maybe didn't hit for other people, like Saga or something. So if we mention an Image comic, let's not talk about the mega super ones, but yeah Saga. But
that Image, was just one of my first ever. Like that got me my job. That got
Image wasn't the power they are now. Which
absolutely
we can talk about them leaving Diamond and Diamond being a disaster now.
I was surprised to see that their deal with Lunar wasn't exclusive. I thought they were going to like go to them, go to Penguin Random House. It's an exclusive. I'm very excited as a retailer. Lunar is ass. Like,
so the packaging's better, but so when years in the mid to late 90s, I worked at a comic store. And every Wednesday when I checked in the books, the thing I hated most was having to talk to not one, but 2 different distributions, because Marvel was distributed from Heroes World, which if you could get someone on the phone was insanely lucky of you. But then having to call Diamond and calling in all my damages and then going, hey, like, did you guys ever think about putting packing materials in these? Because we would get statues that customers wore that were busted constantly. The books were damaged. Like, they were all just destroyed. And for years and years, even after I stopped working, I'd go into my comic store on New Comic Book Day and they'd be like, ugh, like the exclusive 1 in 100's damaged in the box. So they never listened to feedback, no matter how much people
They didn't
complained.
have to at one point. Like, they were a monopoly. I know they weren't really when you were, but that was a very small amount of time.
So basically, the comic store I was at closed right before like the great disaster when, you know, the whole market exploded and Marvel filed bankruptcy.
No, Lunar bags and boards, they're variants. They deliver on Wednesday or Thursday, so if you have damages that are really important to you, you can get them in time before New Comic Book Day. Everything they do, like so when we were getting another store, I emailed Lunar, like, hey, can I ship to one location for both stores? Can I do both, etc. Lunar responded in 4 minutes. Diamond didn't respond for 2 weeks with like 14 emails.
What was the one? Because there was two during COVID. There was Lunar and then
Random House. Oh,
no.
Yeah.
There was the one run by Midtown.
I forgot about that. Wow.
Yeah, because I remember that was a huge conflict of interest because they're like, well, no, Midtown's going to get catered to. Fuck that. No.
They were saying that about Lunar too because Lunar's owned by
DCBS, which
yeah.
They only do trades though, so
yeah.
It's kind of.
They're also like they've separated it pretty well in my opinion.
They also have like the most bomb exclusive hardcovers because the Deadly Class ones from them are so fucking phenomenal.
I haven't seen those.
Oh my god!
I've seen just like the regular ones, which are already beautiful.
My prize. So I'm a huge Maria fan.
Maria
Deadly
Wolf?
Class? No, Maria from Deadly
Sorry.
Class. So this was their exclusive for Volume 3.
Ooh.
And it was Prom.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful.
Yes. And all of their exclusive ones have been just absolutely phenomenal. And then I just ordered, because I'm a Remender stan, I guess. They're putting Low out as a huge omnibus.
Yeah.
So I just ordered that. And I would say Low and probably Tokyo Ghost are two, I would say they're indies because they didn't sell a ton.
They sold pretty well at my shop.
They sold well, but like I think 7 to Eternity probably sold better than Deadly Class sold well. Like I remember that had a little bit going into it, especially when the TV show started.
Do you have favorite publishers?
It varies.
Scott, actually it might be depending on where they are. Yeah, because there are different bases.
So they're actually out west. Actually, they're supposed to be better because they're branched out west.
And I'm on east, so
yeah. But I think they have hubs in 4 different regions.
Were they have 4 already?
I think 3 or 4 hubs because I know there's one pretty close to Florida. I want to say it's like either in Atlanta or New Orleans, somewhere in that area. Lunar. So when you talk about Lunar, the thing is when Diamond is your base floor, like you can't get much lower than what Diamond was doing to people.
Lunar is one of my favorite distributors I deal with at all because I have a game shop that does. I have Games Workshop, I have Southern Hobby, I have Alliance, I have a bunch of different distributors for things.
Oh, Alliance was awesome. Alliance, I had great. They were great.
Depends on your rep a little bit.
But to get our Magic cards though was a nightmare with one of our vendors.
Yeah, Lunar's like my favorite to deal with at all. They've been pretty great across the board with me. The thing is that they're very communicative, so when I have an issue, it's very easy to at least get an answer, even if it can't be resolved immediately, and that is extremely important to me.
I love the fact that we're both former shop workers, and then I was in the book business for years, so my experience with Penguin Random House was always a great experience.
Yeah, I've kind of just started with them, and it's been a very rocky start, but I kind of want to hold my
I'm being sarcastic totally because, like, literally they fucked us out of books constantly in my bookstore. Like, they mispacked stuff. The packing list never matched.
I saw their packing when they started doing like Marvel comics, and it was really bad. So I was like, I'll wait on comics, but they have a lot of graphic novels and manga and stuff, so I want to be able to order from them. But
Yeah, it was weird because manga you had to go through either Penguin, Hachette, or then there was Simon had some, like, which was always weird, and then Ingram handled the rest.
Diamond has a bunch.
Yeah, I mean they're kind of the catch-all, but like for a bookstore, because I was at Barnes and Noble. I was at Barnes and Noble for 20 years.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Did you get good discounts there?
Yeah, so it was 30%, and then during the holidays it was 40%, and then it was 50% off cafe stuff.
Okay.
But having to smell cinnamon scones cooking all day, like you get desensitized real easy. So yeah, the DCBS Lunar thing, I remember that at the beginning, but then the Midtown thing was way more of an issue when they had their own distribution, which I cannot remember the name of.
I did hear a lot of that in the beginning. I haven't heard much since they've spoken about it and went on the last like more than a year. But in the beginning, people were losing their mind over that.
Yeah, because I mean, Midtown's always been an interesting case of like one jacking up prices of books. I swear sometimes I felt like they had eBay open. They're like, oh my God, turn it up. And then jacking up the prices on variants to like excessive rates.
I've only ordered from Midtown once. So they were Milton exclusive, so.
They were one of the only people who were carrying one of the books I'm going to talk about, Hench Girl.
Okay.
I love Hench Girl. It started with Scout Comics, which Scout put out a lot of like decent stuff for a while, but that book was so cute and funny, like, and it had such an animated, energetic style. I loved it.
It's like a bit of a cult classic.
I remember it was a spec favorite for a while because everybody started jumping on indies when We Can Never Go Home got hot for a minute. Brian Hibbs is still salty. Brian Hibbs is salty about everything. Like, it's always him, and then I forget who the other shit. I can't remember who the other Jesse James. They're the ones who are always in like Bleeding Cool. Every one of the Diamond Summits. So my first introduction to indies, because I'm of that age, and Scott probably is too, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles from Mirage. Because when that cartoon hit, like, other than probably Batman the Animated Series, there's been no like gateway drug cartoon that ever brought more people closer to the community, where like what I collected was actually like, oh, cool. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles led me to Usagi Yojimbo. And then, funny story, and I'm only telling this because my mom is no longer walking this earth. I talked her I think I was a freshman in high school, into going to the comic book store to go pick up my comics because it was not close to me. It was close to her work. And I told her to pick up a book called Faust because it looked cool.
How old were you?
13, 14, 15-ish. So
I like that it keeps going up to make it less scary. Okay.
So my mom picked it up. She left everything on the table. My mom's an old school comic book fan. Like, she grew up reading Archie's, Wonder Woman, Superman, the Jimmy Olsen, stuff like that. So I went out to play basketball with my friends. I come back in. She's like, we need to talk. I'm like, okay. And she's like, sit down on the couch. I was like, oh, what the fuck did I do? And she's like, do you know what you had me buy today? I was like, I mean, there was some DC. I think there was Alien versus Predator Genocide. I don't know. And she's like, all right, that one book, Faust. I was like, oh, the guy with the claws on the cover. She goes, yeah. Did you know that he runs around with his dick wagging back and forth naked for like half the issue? I was like, I don't know what the fuck the book is. I just thought he looked cool. And she goes, literally dong back and forth. butt naked killing people, and there's tits out everywhere. And she's like, so you didn't know what the fuck this book was about? I was like, not a clue. And she's like, well, have fun with all that dick.
Your mom sounds like a riot.
And like, of course, that's like the first book I picked up, and I'm like, this is not at all what I imagined. So this is the same lady who, like, I might have been 9 years old, had us like eating dinner watching Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Like, it was the only VHS tape we had, so like we watched it constantly.
Yeah, I just left because that was so offensive. No, talking about dicks going back and forth made me want to grab Autumnal. It's one of my favorite indie books. But there's Don going back. Oh, okay. This is a Christian cover. He's amazing. You should definitely check him out.
So that was a book that, like,
Vault Studios is definitely my favorite publisher right now. That's also why I was asking you.
I started reading Vault books when Heathen came out because Heathen was so
Heathen.
fucking good.
Look at these layouts. Oh, I love this book so much.
Vault was hit and miss for a while. There were some really good books that came out. Were they the one that had Lonely Receiver?
Yes. Nope, that was Aftershock.
Aftershock. Okay, Aftershock who fucked everybody over. Okay, because
Aftershock had Animosity. So I loved
yes,
Aftershock
Animosity
for a
was
while.
such a good book when that came out, and it kind of lost its way. So Lonely Receiver was one Jen was championing quite a bit. I actually like the second book Zach Thompson put out. Oh my god. It's the one about the media person.
Bylines in Blood?
No.
Media person is so broad.
I know, like it was
Weatherman. No, that was beforehand.
Something a body.
No, I know what you're talking about. Out of Body?
Fuck.
I think it's called Out of Body. This should just be the show. I was trying to.
I Breathe the Body.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, I know that book.
So it
Out of Body is
made
also
me,
a
like,
book, I'll have you know.
start thinking about how I was on social media because everything was like, I gotta film this. And I was like, famously stood Jen and I up when I asked to interview him because he agreed and never showed up.
Wow, no call, no show.
Like, Jen was emailing him and he didn't reply after agreeing to come on. It was a very weird thing, but I still like his writing. The Woods by James Tynion that he did for Boom, where I was like, oh, this dude's good at horror. Before I
was
really
beginning of that a lot.
It was really, I think it might have been one of the first Boom books I bought besides Hellraiser, which Boom had a lot of properties early on.
Yeah, they were like the fandom publisher basically.
Them and IDW.
I relate. So this is not an insult because I adore both of these writers. I have a whole bunch of Stephen King books. I'm reading Under the Dome right now. But I very much relate James Tynion to Stephen King, where I feel like a lot of times their like beginnings are really good and like their premises are really good, and sometimes the endings are like.
So I have a funny thing about that. Do you know who's the biggest Stephen King fan? Scott Snyder. Do you know who Scott Snyder's student is?
Oh, okay.
James Tynion.
Yeah, I didn't know that part. That makes sense.
So, and of course they worked on American Vampire, Stephen King, to start it out. Yeah, they're very clumsy. Hey, Mastodon, what's up? It is great to see you.
Oh, I'm sorry. That was only hi to you. I didn't mean to wave. I'm so sorry.
Oh. Manners. Also, we got a huge compliment from Lost in Comics. He said that he really likes our show and likes how we are, and he wants to come on.
Well, we're cool as fuck, so.
Yeah. So second week of July, I'm taking vacation, so keep that clear if you can. He has to book that far out.
Okay.
We're not cool enough that like we're just going by the seat of our pants. So one of the I'm calling this a indie, and Step by Bloody Step.
That's like my favorite writer right now. I know there's not really words in that one, but I am currently trying to pick up everything he's ever done.
So I think what I love is the fact that when a writer and artist can be so in tune that you can actually tell the story. And I'm sure there was a script to the writer to the artist how to do this story, and have you as the reader understand every bit of it with no words. There's a old PlayStation game called Eco and Shadow of the Colossus. There's no words in the entire game, and yet it puts every emotion out there. And this is what I equate it to. I highly, highly recommend picking up this book.
I really shouldn't have sat away from my comics.
Step by Bloody Step is such a beautifully done book. I know Ryan said that he might be the only one that doesn't like this book.
Ryan has bad taste. Clearly, he talks to me all the time.
Well, I talk to you all the time too. So like,
yeah,
where's that put me?
I don't understand. Do you have questions? This is another. This is The Rush, another Vault book. This is like a Western horror. This is like the fancy convention one that has like pretty shininess. But this book is beautiful. I mean, Western horror in general is like not used enough, but it is so good. I'm obsessed with him.
I don't
also another great
Coda.
Silent book. I need to fully check it out. I only grabbed one issue of it. Another Silent book I really like. I grabbed 12 to read while we were while I was trying to read a bunch of indies for this. I love 14. It's one of those like Ablaze books, so it's like translated, but there's no words in it. It is all rooted in mythology, so it's like someone, I think in hell, going through and like everyone is like taking turns telling like a bit of folklore, but it's completely silent and it's weirdly like poignant and beautiful. It's literally just like 14, like 1 and 4. So highly recommend checking it out.
That's interesting. So I can't remember if it's Vault or Aftershock. It was called The Vineyard.
That's Aftershock.
Okay. And again, they're shittily run as it is now. But it's a horror book, and I gravitate towards horror books. Even if they're shitty, I'll probably pick them up. And it's basically this vineyard that is sacrificing people to the Greek god Dionysus so that their wine crop is good every year. And it's a family drama as well. I went into it going, I don't need to read a horror movie about wine. And then like the first issue, I was like, okay, I'm down for this. Like
I read the first issue and I loved it. But then like I really didn't. Then Aftershock news came out and I was like, I don't really want to support them since this money isn't going to the creators anyway, so I stopped. But like I might be bad and pirate it since the money's not going to creators anyway. So
I also Black Mask, which we discussed earlier. We Can Never Go Home. It is a great like high school drama superpower thing. Think Runaways, but done through like a slimy like high school drama like MTV bullshit, but slimier than that. Really loved it, and this is my first introduction to Matthew Rosenberg, who I've loved, and 4 Kids Walk Into a Bank.
I was gonna say that.
So good. It's a Tarantino film, but with kids.
Made it sound coarse.
Well, no, that's how they marketed it.
Tyler Voss is I don't want to say my favorite, because he's definitely one of my favorite creators I've ever met in person. Such a delightful human being. It was like that moment that I was like, oh yes, I'm definitely buying anything with your name on it, just because you're such a great human being to talk to.
Didn't he do covers for Hawkeye as well? The AHA run, he did some of the variants.
None that I can think of, but that definitely doesn't mean no.
Or no, maybe it's Tyler Crook.
I think so.
Okay, like it was one of them.
But they're doing What's the Furthest Place from Here, which is definitely one of my favorite indies on the shelf right now. Yeah, dude, right?
Disappointing.
What's the Furthest Place from Here is one of my favorite indies, or just books in general, on the shelf right now. I know it's not extremely indie, but it's so good. And it has like my favorite lettering. It's very creative. What's the Furthest Place from Here? It's by Rosenberg and Voss.
I like it. Weirdly, the one book I'm liking is it's the one by Jason Aaron, Once Upon a Time.
I heard that was really good. At the End of the World, yeah.
Yes.
But that Del Mundo covers.
The first issue was so good, and the second issue, and then it's kind of tailing off a little bit.
I meant to read that and Phantom Road. Those were the only two I didn't get to before the show, but I heard those two were really good.
I really love Two Graves. It had a lot of Sandman vibes to it, and Ming Doyle and Annie Wu were doing the art. So Ming Doyle hasn't done art in a while, not since that volleyball book Mara that she did years and years ago. So that was an exciting book for me to pick up. And then super indie, but topical because the cartoon's coming out again for the continuing the series. Scott Pilgrim. I'm counting OGNs in this.
Ooh. Oh, speaking of OGNs, I really should not have sat right away from all this. Okay, so I didn't get to read this one yet because I want to do a whole review video on it because I adore Jeremy Holt, but I grabbed this. AWA puts out a lot of good stuff, and I believe in Jeremy Holt, so I grabbed multiple copies because, again, I want to review it, and I want to be able to give away things I review. But this is like, The Great Gatsby went into the public domain like a year or so ago, and so this is a very diverse, queer retelling of Gatsby, and I'm so excited to check it out. It just came out a week or two ago, so.
I want to take a moment. Jeff, if you're still in the chat, I hope your cancer surgery went well. He works with me, so been thinking about you for the last couple of weeks, buddy. Thank you. So I think it's an important book to read. It's indie, and that it would be Mouse. It's, I think, a good story to read. I mean, it's not fun, but it's an important
was a good way to say that, yeah.
Yes. It's hard to talk about, like, even in general. Like, we did a book club for it, and I had to do like a trigger warning beforehand because of shit we'd be talking about.
Yeah.
You're
serious and deep. Yeah, it's not a light one.
Your turn.
Oh, we're doing turns? All right, cool. What do I want to grab? I didn't think this
Speed round.
Yeah, okay. Okay, then I'll do this one because it'll be kind of an honorable mention. Oh, and I'll grab this one too. This won a ton of awards last year. I think it was listed as the best comic, so I grabbed it because it was on sale for half off near me. It's Ducks. I have not read it yet.
I've never heard about that.
It won a ton of stuff last year. It was called like one of the best. It's definitely one of the best books that came out last year, apparently. But it's very like cartoonist more so vibes than like a comic. So it seems like it'll be a really fast read, but apparently it's kind of thick though. This is the hardcover, which is $39.95. So I assume the softcover will be more like $25. But it's drawn in quarterly. They usually put out like good kind of deep, sad stuff that's got very cartoony feels. Kate Beaton also did like Hark of Argent, whatever. But already known for doing good stuff, so I'm interested in checking it out. But I've heard it's like it's not a light read, so I'll read it when I'm ready to be sad.
So it's like Barry Windsor Smith's Monster.
And then while I'm here, I'll do a cute one. This is the Kevin Wada variant for Chef's Kiss. When I got to meet Jarrett, he signed it for me, and it says "Be gay, do crimes," and his signature is like a little pig on the inside. This book is the exact opposite of that. It is extremely adorable. It's nothing like deep or crazy. It's just a very cute, like quick read. Like you just sit down and read this in one day. It's very gay, very adorable. There's a cute pig in it. Big fan. The Kevin Wada variant is so cute. I love Kevin Wada.
So I've been working on getting Romvi on the show for a while now.
Ooh.
So I wanted to mention a couple of his books, Blue and Green, The Savage Shores, and of course The Many Deaths of Layla Starr, which was phenomenal.
So should I reread These Savage Shores? Because I really like Romvi. Many Deaths of Layla Starr is just one of my favorite books, but I really like his other work. I like his DC work and his Marvel work even, but like when I read These Savage Shores, I didn't think it was bad by any means, but...
So it took me like 2 reads of it because the first time I read it, like I feel like you have to be in the mood to read it. But
That's
Blue
kind
and
of what I
Green was
assumed, too.
Blue and Green was way better. Because that was like jazz horror.
Jorr.
But I loved his Swamp Thing run. Like that's the main reason why I wanted to have him on, because I almost bought art from his Swamp Thing run.
So I really like James Tynion when he's writing creator-owned stuff, but I like him less on I shouldn't say creator-owned. I like him when he's working on things he's made. So like even in his Batman run, I really liked the characters he made, surprisingly. Like I really liked Clown Hunter and Ghostmaker. But like I was reading.
What did you think of what was the female's name?
Punchline?
Huh?
Punchline?
No, the one with the hair that everybody said looked like Jen.
Oh, Mira Kamali!
Yes.
I like green hair characters. No, she's cool. But I've been reading I just read through his Justice League Dark run, and I was like, wow, this is kind of lagging. I don't really like how Wonder Woman is written. This is and then all of a sudden I was like, wow, this run is so good now. Why am I loving this? Oh, it's because Rob V's writing it. All right, I get it.
His Justice League Dark also, like, he did just enough with Zatanna. I'm a huge Zatanna fan, like, I'm not gonna lie, but Many Deaths of Layla Starr was just so fucking beautiful. Like everything about it, the covers. And I'm going to do, this is more of a sad choice here because they fucked it up so bad. The Archie horror line.
That's an awful cover.
Well, this is what I could get in hardcover. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina and the Afterlife with Archie runs were so good, especially with Francesco Francavilla doing the art in Archie. They brought Cthulhu into it. Like,
they have no right to be as good as they are. I mean, they're doing Sabrina again now, but yeah, all of Archie horror I'm obsessed with. I kind of think maybe they'll bring back Afterlife with Archie at some point once Riverdale is over now, since they're bringing back more of the other Archie horror stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, specifically Afterlife with Archie is like, it shouldn't be good, right? Like, guys, they do like a zombie apocalypse in the Archie world, like, but it's like, it's so good.
And the fact that Jughead and Sabrina caused the apocalypse makes it so much better, and then she gets sacrificed to Cthulhu. It's
literally like, save my dog. Like, yeah, all right, I'd start a zombie apocalypse for that, like most people would.
My cat 100% would be the cause.
Yeah.
Bradford Apocalypse.
I wanted to like try and talk about indies that were either like on the shelf right now or like newer things so people could buy them easier to support creators, because that's like one of the main points of indies.
Oh, I have one on the shelf right now I can talk about.
This is my favorite book on the shelf, like full stop. So this is the fancy foil version, so I'm trying not to touch with my fingerprints because these covers are super annoying. But this is Nightfall Double Feature, a vault book. Hi, I like vault books. But this has two, that's why it's called Double Feature. There's two stories on here. So the first one is about, like, how do I do this without spoiling it? People are finding bones in places they shouldn't find bones. Like, someone is getting married, and their wedding dress starts digging into them, and, like, the bodice of the wedding dress has become a rib cage. And some kid stuffed animals, like, the inside have, like, skeletons. They're like, what the fuck is going on? This is some fucked up stuff. And the other one, also in between each one, they have this little intermission, which is so cute. Oh, my goodness. These both have vibes. The second one has art by Chris Sheehan, who, as I was saying with Autumnal, is amazing. The color palette is perfect. The second one is much more like spooky supernatural thing. You don't really know what's going on yet, so there's not much I can do to not spoil that one. But this is my favorite book on the shelf. This is like the fancy variant, so it's like $7. It is a little steeper. I think it's like $5, but you're getting two stories in one.
So it's probably about 30 pages.
I want to say it's 64.
So,
yeah, and it's good. I'll give you a punch in the face of a guarantee. If you like horror and you try Nightfall and you
punch
don't
in the
like
face
it,
guarantee. Okay,
yeah, it means you can punch me in the face if you don't like it, or I'll just buy your book for you. Yeah, if you try the first issue and you like horror, if you don't like horror, then that's being mean. But if you don't like horror and you try the first issue and don't like it, I'll buy it.
So while we're on the horror subject, two books that are on the shelves right now that I dig. The Maniac of New York from
Aftershock.
Is it?
It is, I promise.
So that one is one that I really like right now. That it's written by one of the Daily Show writers, which is insane.
What is that?
The Comedy Central news show, Daily Show. One of their writers
I watch TV.
Okay. Well, anyway, for people out there who do watch TV,
For normal people, yeah.
but it's so tropey, but I kind of love it. It's
fun.
It's good. There is a book right now called The Harrower.
Yeah, from Boom.
Yes. And again, it's tropey. It reminds me a lot of one of my other favorite indie books, Nailbiter. And it really bites into its tropes real hard. But Josh Williamson, before he started doing all the DC everything, was a horror writer. He did Ghosted. He did this. And
I'd even say when he first started venturing into DC stuff, he was bringing those horror elements to it. Like, his Flash run definitely had horror elements. That was like, here's blood work, this like just giant gross monster. Like he definitely brings those aspects in.
Well, what he did with the turtle in that one couple of issues for year one, I thought was fantastic. But also he's one of the nicest creators I've ever met.
He's adorable. So cute.
Nailbiter in particular, if you love slasher movies, you like Silence of the Lambs, you like Twin Peaks, that shit's for you. Like, honestly, like, somewhere here there's a hardcover for Nailbiter. This is the Murder Store edition.
Horror.
I love this book. I have it tattooed on my leg, one of the characters. Gambit did it. And I'm a sucker for anything horror. Like Chaos Comics put out Halloween books years ago, and I bought every last one of them. Even the shitty Dynamite ones I bought years later, with like the first Death of Laurie Strode, where they're trying to fill in the blanks between the first movie and H2O. Oh yeah, that shit's real.
Can't imagine those are good.
They were actually surprisingly okay.
Oh, surprisingly okay.
Especially the Chaos ones. So like the Boom Studios Nightbreed stuff and Hellraiser stuff was fantastic.
I heard Nightbreed was weirdly good.
Yeah, like Hellraiser was actually really good, where Kirsty became Pinhead. She became the Hell Priestess. Fucking great.
This is when I go off screen again to grab another book. What? All right, going not super indie here, but it doesn't get the recognition that it should. People really like Gideon Falls. I sure think Gideon Falls is all right. But Primordial is, I think, strictly better. It's the same creative team. It's about animals that go into space. Well. Look, I'm not trying to spoil anything, but Andrea Sorrentino has some of my favorite layouts in the game. Let me find a cool page, which isn't going to be hard because it's like every.
So I hated him on Gideon Falls, like literally hated.
So I think it was okay for some of the run and was not okay for other parts. Like this is one page. This is like the beginning of Gideon Falls I think was all right. I think it was all right when it stayed as a like small town thing. But yeah, it wasn't for me. Yeah, all the layouts are just really, really cool. It's only 6 issues too, so it's a nice mini. Makes for a cute little hardcover. But this book, it's much better than. I shouldn't say it's much better. People are allowed to have their opinions. I like it much more than Gideon Falls. It's not even close. I love.
There's a book that I loved by Image. Like there was, after Saga where they really started experimenting. There was a book called Shutter by Leila Del Duca that I absolutely adored, and there was like a psychotic. Do you ever see those clocks that were cats?
Yes.
So there's one that was alive in it, and he was psychotic. He would like want to take a chainsaw to people. I love the book, and Leila Del Duca's art just works so well with it, and I don't have the time to dig it out, but I absolutely love it. And then Tulaute weirdly did a remake of a Rob Liefeld book called Supreme.
Oh,
it was
yeah.
Fern Warren Ellis on it.
Yeah.
It's the most beautiful
Blue
book.
Rose or something, right?
The Blue Rose. And it's 100% a beautiful art book with one of the shittiest fucking characters But Warren Ellis was writing. I was like, Tula Lotay, who I discovered from the story she did in American Vampire with Gail Simone during the anthology, and I instantly was a fan. And now I have Tula Lotay art all over my studio.
Oh, I have a cover of hers on display here. It was signed by her.
Oh,
Soon.
I have the death print that she did for one of the shows, and then I've got her Wonder Woman that she did a remark on.
I love her, Swoon. She's also so cute.
Very much so. She
will draw the most like not safe for work stuff, and then like speak to you so quietly and politely and sweetly and quietly.
Yeah, Gideon Falls. Like I read the whole
Gideon
series.
Falls isn't bad.
It's just sometimes it felt like it got away from him. Like
I just wish that I didn't take the time out of my life to read it.
I am a huge Jonathan Hickman fan. East of West is very, very great series. I love it. He did a book called The Black Monday Murders.
Wow.
You put Wall Street with Satanism, I'm fucking down. Where the families are like sacrificing to make sure that Wall Street works correctly. I love this series. I have actually the cover of it tattooed on my arm from Gambit.
Ooh, wait, no, this is when you go full screen.
So the demon head is right there. It's just not going to get close enough.
That's pretty beautiful, actually. Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
So like 3/4 of my tattoos are from him. So.
As well as your exes, right? Hey.
I didn't bring it up this time.
Yeah, but since you weren't, you know.
Yeah.
I gotta keep the streak alive.
So, okay, before I go there, do we... No, not with that. Do we consider Jeff Lemire too popular or not popular enough to bring up on this show?
I think it depends on the title you're gonna bring up.
Descender.
Honestly. That's pretty popular, but I also said Saga early on as an honorable mention. So
yeah,
because also one of my favorite books.
Descender and Ascender.
I've not read.
It's easily my favorite Jeff Lemire run. Like with him and Dustin Nguyen, they just seem to have this synergy between the two of them where it's just fucking worked. And Tim 21 and my God, like Driller is a thriller and a real killer.
Dustin Nguyen sketch from Descender. Give it a second to focus. You got this, computer. You can do it. I believe in you. There we go.
Oh, my favorite character.
Yeah, he whipped it out so fast too. No, I got a very big soft spot for Descender because it was on like my first pull list because I grew up as a girl and girls weren't allowed to like comics. So I didn't like get into comics as a kid. I got into comics as an adult.
So right about that same time, he also put out one of the most bleak books for Dark Horse, I believe it was, that I've ever read called Plutona.
Ooh, I have that.
Oh, that book was like Stand By Me, but so much darker. It's like, hey, we found a superhero body. Want to see it?
That book keeps going through Option Hell. I don't know if it still does anymore, but for a long time.
Nailbiter went through Option Hell because that they were going to make that a TV series, which I was down
really
for.
Good as a TV show, I feel.
I think so too. AWA though, I think they kind of took over where AWA took over for Aftershock with me for a little bit because they started putting out some pretty daring stuff.
They did for a while. Now they're definitely veering off for me where not everything is a hit anymore. But I do feel like a lot of their stuff is worth like I really love grabbing indie number ones, but also I feel like a lot of them are worth grabbing for a spec pick because their roots are in Hollywood. So I feel like a lot of their stuff's going to get made, but I really adore a lot of their early stuff.
Okay. You want to grab this one or do you want me to start?
Please.
Pulp is my favorite book that's come out in the last 6 years. Pulp was such a fantastic graphic novel, OGN. And Fatale also was fucking fantastic.
I love Killer Be Killed. That's underrated.
Killer Be Killed. So I remember I had friends who hated the ending. Hated it. But it made sense to me because he was delusional. Or, well, should I say he was an unreliable narrator.
Yeah. Love it.
So I always talk about there's creator synergies where they just work. Rucka and Lark are one of them, especially on Lazarus and Gotham Central. And Phillips and Brubaker just, they get it. They know each other so well that like I feel like they finish each other's. Like Brubaker will put something in the script and he's like, I know exactly what he actually wants. And it kind of shows. Like but oh man, now you got me thinking of Killer Be Killed because
that's my favorite. I haven't read Fatale, but I did read like most of Criminal stuff, and I really enjoyed that.
I didn't like Criminal as much as I liked Sleeper.
Ooh, wow, that's a pick.
Yeah.
There's something else I really liked about them, but yeah, and Killer Be Killed is like it's just underrated. I really love that book.
It was.
I liked it.
It was so morbid. I think it turned people off, but it was kind of getting into the head of someone going through psychosis.
I know I have My Heroes Were Always Junkies or whatever that title is.
Yes.
My Heroes Will Always Be Junkies. My Heroes blank Junkies. Yeah. I know that's to shout out Mr. Fire Guy Ryan, that's like his favorite creator team up. He's really
and I already know like Scott kind of is the same age range as me. So like the fact they had like old Wildstorm hero / villain as the villain in Sleeper probably is what got him into it. Because Alan Moore created this character, Tao, who turned on them. Alan Moore's run on Wildcats with Travis Charest is probably one of like the greatest.
I love Travis Charest.
Oh, Ambassadors #3. Holy shit. Like him doing interiors again after like so many years. I was so in. Ambassadors has like the greatest like run of artists for every issue to carouseling. Like I'm loving it.
Yeah, I've heard people are like swooning over the book.
I didn't read The Reckless yet. It's on my iPad. I haven't read it.
Oh yeah, I read Reckless. My brain was like circling around, like finding the station. Yeah.
Let's not go overboard. Like
that's how I know Brian actually has good taste. Yeah. Cool. We can make the joke again. Yeah, he talks to me. He has great taste. We can, you know.
Him and I don't talk about comics much. We talk about movies more than anything, and that's where I think
Ryan is my movie buddy. Like I mainly watch movies with him. I'm making him play Pokemon with me right now, and it's really fun.
And I just gave you all my logins for all my movies.
Yeah, I haven't been able to stay awake for an entire movie yet, but we're working on it.
Speaking of AWA, Devil's Highway, I really liked it, and then Chariot was.
I love Chariot.
Chariot was so good.
Did you read Hotel?
I did not.
Hotel and Chariot are my favorites. I like Year Zero too, but that's very.
I read the Joneses.
That's the one I didn't read.
That was pretty good. Like it reminded me of what's that Disney movie?
The Incredibles?
Yes. It reminded me of that, but with a mixed family.
Oh, okay. That's cool.
Yeah, and like there's like a witch hunt out for people with powers. So like if you took the Milestone universe and mixed it in with the Incredibles, that's kind of what the Joneses was.
Okay. I intended to check it out. I try to read everything that my shop carries. So I'm working on it. I do, yeah. I think those are my favorite for AWA. To throw Vault back in the running, I grabbed 2 up. I grabbed Heathen just because we were talking about it, and they have like a really nice trade. Like it's like high quality and pretty. Like,
what is that?
Heathen.
Heathen. Oh, I'd never seen that trade before. I had the single.
No, nobody carries it. They even did like really pretty later printings that were all in foil and like deluxe. But then for a new pick, we got Barbaric. This is like their main.
I've never read Barbaric.
The first arc is like 3 issues, so like you know, what do you like? It's nothing to try it out. They have like cute little hardcovers, or they have trade paperbacks. They will go back into making more hardcovers, but right now, post-COVID world or whatever, making hardcovers is just so much more expensive, and it sucks for an indie publisher. So they'll go back to hardcovers soon when they can, and it's more cost-effective. But Barbaric is really good. It's very like fun. There's like some gore. There's like this murderous axe who's got this bloodlust, but it has a curse, so it has to only kill like bad people, basically. But it's really fun. It's a good fun read. Yeah, big fan.
So weirdly, I started thinking about what is that book from Image? Was it God Country?
That was an Image book by Donnie.
Well,
Cates.
no, like the one with the big sword. Was that God Country? Okay. I wasn't a huge fan of the writer, but I read that and I actually really liked it a lot. It kind of actually surprised me how much I liked it.
I do feel like that was his like magnum opus.
A little bit. I mean, his Venom run's probably what he's going to be known for more than anything.
Sure. I know. I hope they do get a movie made for it, because I know he keeps like trying and like working really hard on it. So like it'd be nice to see that happen.
There is a book that actually Gambit brought to the show that I never would have heard of, and Jen and I loved it. It is more of the cartoon style. It is from Boom Comics, and that is Chicacabra. It's staged in Puerto Rico. There is a young lady who is having family issues. There is a lot of family drama in it, and she is possessed by the Chupacabra.
You were telling me about this before, and it sounds really fun.
Gambit is editing. It comes and goes on Amazon. It's weirdly, it's a giant book, and you can usually pick it up for about $10. So you should pick up the first one, because we're gonna eventually have Gambit and the writer artist on.
Hell yeah!
Because part 2 is coming out. Gambit finished editing it.
Can I get this from a like distributor? Can I carry this in my shop?
Yeah, you should be able to.
Hi.
It's Boom Studios.
Oh yeah. Well, sometimes their stuff goes really out of print, so if I can,
if Amazon can get it, you can get it. I'll put it.
That's not true at all. Other people sell it. To Amazon.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, I can buy it from Amazon and then just charge more than Amazon, and that feels gross.
I've only read one Vault book, and I can't. Lock and Key meets Swamp Thing feel to it. I can talk about Lock and Key for hours. I have that tattooed on my back.
Sorry, I got excited because I was trying to think of houses because of Lock and Key, and I want to mention Homesick Pilots. Hold on, let me grab the...
Oh, Homesick Pilots was great.
I love Homesick Pilots so much. I'm just grabbing the top one, the last one. It's only 3 volumes. I love this book so much. The colors are insane. The art is so good. This book is haunted house, but like there's a bunch of ghosts, but also there's punks, and also they use a haunted house as a mech suit. It's so... Please try this book.
Dan Waters is slept on as a writer.
Agreed. If you like this, you should check out Limbo too.
Sean Lewis also is another one who, totally off topic, Bliss with Caitlin Yarsky.
Oh yeah.
If you're ready to get your heart broken, it's a great book to read, especially on Father's Day.
Oh, what was I gonna say? Brain?
Oh, sorry. Mech Suit.
Nope, I had something else I was going to go, and my brain just gone. But that's fine. Homesick Pilots. Oh, I read this. I don't ever want to like talk poorly about books because people put hard work into it, and just because it's not my cup of tea doesn't mean it's not other people's cups of tea. But I never read like the last few issues of Homesick Pilots, so I brought home all of them so I could read them just all over again because I adored it. And I was like, man, I love this book, and nobody at my shop would read that book. And I was reading Unearthed at the same time, which a bunch of people were reading, and it was like, I wish I liked this book more, like. And Homesick Pilots was just like, damn, this book is so good. Everyone's a fool.
I will bring up also because we've talked about him quite a few times. Murder Falcon.
I have that hardcover over there.
Because I know John was in the chat and he loves that book now.
Hell yeah.
Coffin Bound by Dan Waters as well. The first arc, not great.
There's
second
a
arc,
from him coming out.
Ooh.
And the new run is still by him, so I'm trying to figure out what your Lock and Key meets Swamp Thing. I don't know, maybe that could have been what something.
I'm not sure. I do have a Lock and Key tattoo on my back shoulder. And I have Southern Bastards, the tree on my neck. Daniel Warren Johnson.
Dark one. Hell yeah. I feel like you might say that Dark Horse is too big to be indie, but I'm gonna immediately veto you.
They're like the 4th or 5th now at this point.
This is like so underknown for like a Dark Horse book. I feel like nobody knows about Beast of Burden. I love these books so much. It's like if a bunch of dogs were ghost hunters.
Do you know why I know most about it? Because the writer couldn't get the artist to work with him to get the next volume done.
Art is really cool. Is there like beef between them? Like, what up?
It's just he's been chasing her. Like, he's had the script written, and there was an article saying, "Hey, I'd love to put it out. I've sent her the script. She has not worked on it."
That's so sad. I mean, I only have 2 of the volumes, but I think there's 3 or 4. I forget. They don't need to be read in a row. I accidentally didn't read them in a row because I didn't know there were multiple. So they stand alone pretty well. But it is a. Yes, read Beast of Burden. It's fantastic. And then maybe if we all read it, then more will get made. That would be cool.
I think they're working on the 3rd volume. Is it?
They definitely have more than 3 because
what part of the comic industry are you in, Toby? Because I'm curious. Because if you're in the retailer end of it, but if you're creating comics, like I understand, like it can be rough and you might need a second job because. I interviewed Steve Orlando, and he was still working at a wine and dine place.
It's pretty impossible to like be a full-time comic creator and not read other things. Giga? Could that possibly be that vault title this person is thinking of?
See, Giga reminded me of something totally else.
I got me in the Swamp Thing, maybe? Like,
I mean, Hollow Heart was also like another one that was like.
That's probably what they were thinking of. I feel like that's a really good guess. Get me out of here. Why am I full screen? Get me out.
Oh, sorry. Another book that I liked, Frequent Guests, which makes us already disqualified. Rodney Barnes and Jason Sean Alexander did a take of the 1970s Blackula movie, blaxploitation movie, and made it serious. I really liked it. John and White Whale Comics liked it but didn't love it. But best Jason Sean Alexander art I've seen, and to make something that was a joke during the 70s kind of serious, I really dug.
I don't personally have a copy of it because I let my friend read it who doesn't like comics, and they loved it so much that I was like, please keep it. I'm so happy you love it. But this was when Behemoth was Behemoth and not Sumerian. But Cinnamon is really funny. This is just the picture on my phone, so it's not going to be that great. But I promise you should read it. It's like, I think it's only 3 issues. I believe it is the first and only comic to make me literally laugh out loud. Like, I remember when I was reading the first issue, I was, Ryan and I used to like Skype and read comics all the time. And I was sitting there and I was laughing so hard reading this first issue to the point that Ryan was like, what's going on over there? Like, what are you reading? What is that? This book is so cute and so funny, especially if you have cats or like cats. Absolutely need it. It is important that you read it.
There was an anime about, not an anime, a manga about like, I think it was like My Cat Michael or something like that, which was just like silly cat manga.
I have a Walking Dead zombie cat one.
Oh.
This is my manga shelf, this tiny one.
Mine is mostly like Ranma and Blade the Immortal.
The Blade the Immortal hardcovers are beautiful.
I Gambit tattooed Manji and Rin on my back.
What of you isn't covered in tattoos?
My neck. my groin area, my butt.
So these are all room to grow in the future. Got it.
No, that's no-go areas. So they were reprinted by Dark Horse, but the Grendel collection by Matt Wagner, some of my favorite comic books, because this is someone who, as a joke, made an anti-Batman where his origin's close to Batman's, except he becomes a villain. And he was seduced as an underage kid by a fencing female criminal. And very bold for the first volume to kill your main character.
Oh, I'm all about people killing all their characters. I'm so into it already.
Having it later on, carrying on this legacy where this female character, Christine Spar, who is the daughter of the ward of Grendel, become Grendel to fight a kabuki vampire that killed her son. And then her lover becomes Grendel because it's like an infection of violence. And then from there, in the future, the kabuki vampire comes back, and a like junkie in the future becomes Grendel and fights him. And then it becomes a religion, Grendel, and they have like a Simon Bisley like cyborg half thing, like taking him through the wasteland like it's East of West. And it's weird how it's like an evolution of like Grendel's like this curse. And I think it's inventive of a creator to be able to figure out like, okay, I killed my character. How do I keep this going? And from Comico also that ended up on Image, Mage by Matt Wagner.
I was going to ask if you read the Mage books.
Where it's a King Arthur tale, but your main character looks like Kevin Smith. And his bat is Excalibur. And there were 19 years in between runs. So the first series ends, and that was like 15 years, and that was another 19 years between series 2 and 3. Yeah,
it was like Made the hero made, defied, and denied, or something like that?
Yes. Or defiant or something. Yeah. But I really, and his Sandman run for like the, detective gas throwing one was also good. And he also did a great run of the Shadow. And they had Shadow versus Grendel.
I've seen that a lot.
I'm a huge fan of Matt Wagner's. And it's weird when like it starts out as an indie and ends up on a bigger publisher, which I don't know if Dark Horse is really that big of a publisher anymore.
It's definitely bigger than,
because like you could throw in like Hellboy, Sin City, and all that shit into it. But they were another person that were like, well, we own every fucking property, so we're gonna have Terminator versus RoboCop, Star Wars.
Yeah. Terminator versus Yoda.
Oh. I'd be down for that. Like RoboCop versus aliens.
Ooh. I'm gonna go much newer and much bigger. I love this book, and this book is made for people who love comics. I kind of wish it had more of a sad ending. Everything is done by Chip Zdarsky. He does the art, he does the colors, he does the script, he does the lettering, he does everything. There is also an editor, but this book's entirely by Chip Zdarsky. It is like a sad love letter, comics will break your heart style letter to comics, and I really adore it. The main person's dad created this character that's really big in like modern geek culture, like all the movies and action figures and everything are based on him, but like the comics don't sell and he doesn't make any money because he just created a comic like decades ago. And so it's kind of about like getting the rights to that and the importance of the comics behind the screen. But it's really beautiful. Like I am kind of a Chip Zdarsky stan, but this book is really,
I love Sex Criminals.
Ooh, yeah. I love Sex Criminals. I love Kaptara. I like White Trees. I'm enjoying his Batman run, all this Batman stuff. I'm trying to talk about Toby. Be remembered as only Cosmic 9/11. And then for like a silly one, Survival Street is like apocalyptic Muppets from like Sesame Street style. Very, very fun.
There is a Dark Horse book I started reading called All Eight Eyes.
I love that book!
There's a ridiculousness to it of like, you know what? I can either kill spiders or live on the streets.
Why am I full screen? Take me out of here!
Sorry.
I'm on that book and I love it. I read the first one. I was like, really hope it's good. And I love the second one. I'm sold. Give me big spiders.
I've also been reading Black Tape by Dan Panosian. And it's from AWA.
Have you been getting the metal covers?
No, I just got the regular covers. I got whatever one's on digital I can get. I've been reading that one digital. But not bad. Like, it's, again, cultist horror shit. Ah.
I read... Oh, okay. Great, I'm back here. I picked this one out for the Garsh colors, but this book it's really fun. I read this one, and I was surprised by how fun it was. It wasn't like a premise I was really drawn into, but I'm definitely going to check out the second issue.
So, do you remember that Eight-Legged Freaks movie?
Yes.
That's what I kind of got the vibe of.
Also, this is not what I'm really talking about, but this is the size of your like standard comic book. I thought this was regular size when I ordered it for my shop.
I just downloaded that.
It's honestly pretty cute. It's cute, but I thought it was regular size, so when I ordered it for my shop, the things that I put comics in obscure the comics up to like here, basically, and so it was just like, I don't know how to sell you.
I've been reading Dead Romans from Image, and I'm really liking the art on it.
I've heard that's really good. I have heard that the art is like the main draw, that it's beautiful.
I mean, the main female character, Honoria, like they spend a lot of time on her, and totally off subject, but for anybody who has not read Wonder Woman Historia, like, just
that's one of my favorite Wonder Woman books.
Please go pick that up. Like, the beauty of it, and Kelly Sue does an amazing job writing it, and the artist on it, between Phil Jimenez and everybody else, is just incredible.
I picked these books entirely up for the cover. But I'm glad that I picked up the second one before I read them, because I grabbed the second one like, I haven't read the first one yet, but I have it at home. And I was like, I'll just grab it anyway. Like, worst case scenario, I'll tell them together or something. Definitely took till the second issue for me to pick up, but it's an interesting premise. Girl goes off to college. Seems like, oh man, there were weird mystery murders decades ago, like the beginning of every cheesy, spooky movie. And she delves into them a little too much, and that's probably what I can do without spoiling it, but it's pretty good. It definitely takes until the second issue to pick up.
Have you been reading Indigo Children?
I have not. I heard that I've only heard two people reading it. Yeah, I've heard it's like not...
Like, it was oversold a little bit. It's good enough, but like it was very much oversold to me.
That's the worst.
I just found it. So shit. I was talking about Hench Girl earlier, and I found my digital. So this is like what you're in for the art. And like, there's a character. God damn it.
Ooh, that's how I know you're stealing your comics. That's the Stealing Comics page.
Well, I didn't want to go get the hardcover out.
That's okay. I only know because I also do it.
We don't talk about that. Scheist. So.
You're doing great. Oh, that's a cute page.
But that was the first issue, and that's pretty much what you're in for, but it's just basically a hench girl who doesn't want to be a hench girl, and like, there's people with useless powers. There's one that grows vegetables. There's another one that becomes a toy doll. Like, everybody has useless powers in it.
Man, if someone could make me vegetables, that'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Wow, hi, I like Vault Studios, guys. I am reading this book on the shelves right now. It's called The Nasty. This is, I think, the 1 in 10 for the first issue. And I think you specifically, Dan, would enjoy this, but I need you to not think of it as a horror book. Because it starts off very, like, generic Jason slasher boy. Also, I want to make the mask and do, like, a cute, like, sexy cosplay of this.
You call me out for stealing. I don't know.
Yeah, so exactly. You like criminals. This man kills. He's a criminal. They're one and the same.
Yeah, there's a book called Criminal out by
but when I picked it up, I thought it was going to be some like Maniac in New York style, like just slasher thing, but it ends up being like, this guy has an imaginary friend, but he can actually, and it's the murdery boy, and he's a big horror fanatic, and these kids end up trying to make like a horror movie for this horror festival, and then it seems like big murders are going to happen, but it's not very scary, but it's very fun, and I'm really enjoying it. Like, people told me they didn't really like it that much, but I think it's because they went in thinking it was going to be really scary, and it's absolutely not. But especially by the second issue, I was like, all right, I am here for this.
A book I really liked. So Terry Moore, who's done Strangers in Paradise, Parker Girls, did a horror book.
Serial?
Yes. And
I can read your mind, Dan.
I love this book. It's weird. Also, like, my favorite character in the book was her dog. That was a good boy.
Dogs are always my favorite characters. That's not weird at all. This is Silver Sprocket. This isn't even Silver Sprocket. Well, Silver Sprocket puts out a lot of really cute stuff. This is from Uncivilized Books. But this was very endearing. I really want to post this panel somewhere. It's really funny to me. This kid looking dreamily into the distance, wistfully thinking of Spawn. But I don't know, it's very endearing, and I'm really excited to check out more. I do like these weird, more ziny feeling things, and I also like bugs.
Did you ever watch the animated series of Spawn?
No, I have consumed like zero Spawn content.
Oh my god, because Todd McFarlane used to do the intro, and his Canadian used to be like, Spawn. Like, it was just always like him talking about what was going on.
No, I haven't watched the series. I haven't watched movies. I haven't played any games. I haven't read any comics. Again, I'm trying to read everything we carry in stores, so eventually I will read Spawn. But, like, we're just going to get to that when I got to get to it.
There was
the content of it.
Dark Horse book that was kind of like Dragon Ball Z that I liked. Like, oh god,
I would hate Dragon Ball Z, so I think you've immediately lost me.
Shit. Like, it was the something no one left to fight.
This sounds familiar. While you Google stuff, I will discuss a few other indies in my hand. Hairball very much gives off the vibe of, what was that Stephen King movie? Cat's Eye?
Cat's Eye,
yeah. Gives off that vibe. Really into it.
No one left to fight. That was it.
Yeah, I feel like I definitely have not read it, but is it good?
It was just like, so it was like an anime character who like ran out of people to fight, and he's like gone through everything. He's like, well, I'm dying. Fuck it. Like, I'm just gonna go do a tour and visit everybody.
Hell yeah.
Because literally he's bored. Like, he has nothing left to fight for.
Okay. All right. You sold me.
So it was like Dragon Ball Z. It's like Goku going, well, fuck it. I suck.
7 Years in Darkness, new number one I picked up from CEX. As I drop it immediately, the art inside is pretty cool. Kids go into a school for 7 years. There's like, I think 72 of them that go in and only 7 go out. So I'm interested to see where it goes, but I didn't really think I was going to like it, but the art was really cool. I'm definitely grabbing issue 2. And I'm going to do a quick one more of these guys. No, I don't remember this book. No, I do. Okay. I picked this up because it's the Dark Spaces universe, like Dark Spaces Wildfire that Scott Snyder did. And in the solicit, they definitely said, like, from the creative mind of Scott Snyder. So I thought it was from that. So I thought it would sell well at the store. It's not. It's not at all. But I really liked this. Very, like, spooky vibes. It does feel like just a worse autumnal. I will read more of it, but it's got big, like trying to be autumnal vibes. And since I have the pile on my lap, I also read The Neighbors, which seems like your usual Boom Studios miniseries. So, like, I feel like it'll be like a B. But I don't know yet. It was all right first issue.
A book by Behemoth / Sumerian, and the only one I've liked or read, A Girl Walks Home Alone at Night, because I love the movie that came out.
I want to watch that movie.
The movie was so much better than the book.
Okay, yeah.
I
would assume.
It's usually the way it goes. I mean, it came out way before that, but and from TKO Studios, Steve Orlando put out a book called.
Oh, I have that book.
And I really enjoyed it. It was super dark, but yet like super energetic, if that makes sense.
I grabbed that and Sentient.
Didn't read Sentient.
Hold on, I can't believe. Oh my goodness, wait, hold on. I haven't spoken about one of my favorite indies. Oh my goodness, what is wrong with me? All right. I should be ashamed of myself. I have my trade set aside because I'm trying to get a spinner rack, and I want to put trades in the spinner rack. This is one of my favorite indie books at all. Destiny New York. It's extremely queer. It's got really pretty art, but it's all in black and white. This is signed by Pat Shand because I love Pat Shand and he's the writer. And this is volume 5. And I also gave it like a cute little card. But in stores, they're only out at like volume 2 or so. This is one of the few books that I just read the first issue and then I like put it down and I was like, yep, I love this book. this good book. I absolutely adore this book. I have not read up to volume 5 because I read what's in my shop, but he had this when I met him and I just wanted to like give him money. So I was like, take money, I buy this, thank you, bye.
I also, so it's not a huge studio, but Valiant, they're still kicking. The Exo Man of War book by Becky Cloonan writing with Liam Sharp on art. Fucking beautiful. It's better than it should be.
Yeah. It's also like an okay place to start because I didn't know anything about anything.
Yeah. And like Becky Cloonan still has one of my favorite covers of all time. Her variant for Witches from Hastings was like still my favorite cover.
Becky Cloonan puts out booty shorts. I don't know what other kind of merch you want from people, but
wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know if she still has them up right now, but she's made like booty shorts for merch, which is amazing.
Because I knew she had like, oh god, what was it? Tarot cards, because Jen had bought them, and like every print had dudes with beards.
Hell yeah!
And then she did her like mini comic of the dude she'd walk by that she was like stalking.
What?
Yeah, she used to put up on Twitter like mini comics of this dude she was stalking around the town she lives in Maine or New Hampshire or whatever the fuck it is.
I'm hoping that that's a lot more like cute and innocent than how you're making it sound.
It was cute, but it was like, I know this dude's gonna be at this place at this time, so she would purposely wear her like heavy metal shit and walk around.
Okay, I understand at least just being like, oh, I know this person's gonna be here, so I'm gonna look extra cute.
Not like it was that kind of thing, but it was like kind of like stalky the way she'd like frame it when she'd post it.
Just following him home.
Heavy metal dude with the beards here. I don't know what I should do.
That's kind of adorable. Okay.
Like adorkable? Is that it? Like I don't even. What's the word?
Adorkable works. I think it's pretty good. Ah. Sorry, where were you? There you are. Well,
I wait till they like trip over an animal. Oh God!
I'm just gonna bring over all of my bookshelves and have them sitting on the floor and have to put them away later. Asphalt Blues. This book is mainly a vibe read. The art inside, I knew flipping to a random page wouldn't do me very well. The art and colors and everything, very big vibe. The whole story. I believe it is a translated work. It is all by one person. The colors are all like moody and vibrant at the same time. The art style is just this book is just a beautiful read. Here we go. Okay, so hold the book. Yeah, everything about this book is just very, very pretty. It's got like I don't know, I feel like I want to be like listening to like synthwave stuff and have this like on the screen or something. I'm really into it. This seems like actually if you were listening to like some interesting like 80s vibe lo-fi and like panels from this could just be like on the screen.
Or is it like the Drive soundtrack?
I don't watch things.
Oh no, the Drive soundtrack with Ryan Gosling is like fucking like synthwave god amazing.
I don't think I know who that is.
This just if sometime put in just soundtrack Drive.
Okay. And
it's all synthwave.
Okay, I'm down for some synth. Also, I know we were speaking about it, but I'm just gonna bring it down because it is one of my favorite books of all time. And I need to give it some more screen time because you said it fell off the rails and you get shamed for that because it's one of my favorite books.
No, it after the first 20 issues, it kind of fell off.
It's only like 26 issues or something.
Isn't it? I quit after a while because I was.
And there's Animosity: The Rise, and there's a Free Comic Book Day special, and there's Animosity Evolution. This was my first favorite series that was like current, you know? So it has a big special place in my heart, and I love this book.
Gail Simone had did a Dark Horse series where basically like superheroes went bad. Shit.
I'm thinking about Clean Room, but I don't think that's
no. Clean Room was good though.
Some pretty Jen Bartel cover, or not Jen Bartel, Jenny Frison covers before Jenny Frison was big.
Yeah. Also Jenny Frison did the covers, I think, for the book where like The Beauty.
Yeah, she did a variant for the first issue. That was beautiful.
Leaving Megalopolis.
I don't know what that is. Also, Jeremy Hahn is pretty awesome. I really love the approach, and then The Beauty is cool. And Red Mother apparently ties into that. I haven't read that one, but I heard it was less good than the others. But I really enjoy his work and him as a human. He's very nice to talk to.
Hey Bobby, how's it going, brother?
Hey.
Leaving Megalopolis was like if a meteor came down and turned all the superheroes bad, and they ended up taking over a whole city. So like the whole entire United States shut down the city. Nobody was allowed to enter or leave.
All right.
And it was 2 different series. It originally started as a Kickstarter that she did.
You say Gail Simone, and I'm immediately sold. So
it was so good. I'm kind of jealous because Gambit got to be for one of the Puerto Rico Comic Cons. He was the moderator for her panel.
That's cool.
And he was like, "Oh yeah, I could probably get her on the show." I was like, "I don't even know what I would say."
Die.
Like other than she did a page of a comic where they're making fun of Barbara Gordon for possibly cybering with Blue Beetle. Her Birds of Prey run, when they killed Ted Kord, they were at his funeral and they're like, "Did you cyber with him?" And she's like, just keeps walking like, "You did.
It's big but not big enough. Silver Coin by Michael Walsh and Various.
I hate, and I love.
How much of it have you read?
All of it. There's a couple of stories that were good, but overall, like, it's just not good.
Do you like Ice Cream Man?
I do.
That's weird. That's weird. Interesting. Okay. I mean, I would definitely say that, like, I wasn't into every single issue. Honestly, the Jeff Lemire, like, sci-fi one sticks out to me as, like, not being one that I love. But I would say, in general, I like Silver Coin more than Ice Cream Man. So they're both, like, B tier or something. I know what I'm getting when I read them. Like, I'm going to get, like, a solid comic, but nothing that's going to blow my mind. That's how I feel about both of them.
As we went through on the show when Jen was here, it was like, is it haha or haha? Haha was another one where, like, I felt dirty after reading.
I didn't read that one. It's on my list too. I'm very excited to check out Swan Song, the new one by him.
I have not read that.
It hasn't come out yet. Okay, it's about to. I'm saying I'm excited for it. Also for some saucy love, I love Sunstone.
Oh, yes, Sunstone. No, like honestly, like Jen and I talked about this. How Sunstone, like she thought it was just gonna be a scissoring fantasy.
No, it's actually
by some dude, beautiful. And it's good. Like, and Stepan Sejic like walks that line.
It's saucy without just being like unnecessary porn. Like it's good representation.
There's enough emotion in it.
Yeah, it's good representation of both like queer people and like the BDSM community. Like it's not doing the 50 Shades thing where it's like, yeah, guys, use zip ties. Like, no, that's how you die.
Oh, let me tell you, like I found out, like, so John and I are doing a movie show tomorrow.
It actually seems like a really cool premise. I'm really excited to check that out.
I found out one of the movies that we recommended for the game part of it is made by the same dude who made 50 Shades of Grey movies.
Hell yeah.
And I'm fucked up from it because I was like, how did this dude make this movie and then put that out?
I haven't seen them, so I guess you're a braver man than I am.
I haven't made it through one. Like, the Twilight movies are made better than that.
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, 50 Shades is just Twilight fanfic. So
I know, and that's the sad
makes
part.
sense.
Like, I made it through the Twilight movies. Like,
the Twilight movies can be like a drunk watching with popcorn kind of movie. Like, you know, you can watch them and make fun of them with friends. Like, they're that level. By the way, this is a side note, but I watched the Vampire's Kiss or whatever that Nick Cage movie was with my friends.
Oh, that's his acting is like way like.
We laughed at it a lot, and it was really funny to make fun of. And then afterwards, it was like, wait, that movie might have actually been kind of good.
I'm a vampire.
Like, but yeah, that was really fun for that.
So there is a horrible B. I wouldn't even call it a B movie. It's like a D movie. It's called The Last Vampire on Earth. That is a Twilight ripoff, but the Bella of it has AIDS. And, like, the family eating KFC the whole movie, it's so fucking bad.
I watched this.
It is.
I did read a book when I was a kid about a vampire who
It's basically like Shrek playing this vampire, but it's a human being playing it. Like, it's so terrible.
I did read, like, not an entire book in the series, but I read, like, snippets from the 50 Shades stuff, and it was, like, not written well. Like,
when you know it's fan fiction, and there's before my Barnes and Noble quit, apparently there was supposedly like a One Direction fanfic that was for teens. I don't know what the fuck was going on, but like apparently that was a thing.
Okay.
Read Across the Stars and Cinia Reeds knew all about this shit. Like they were telling me. I love
both of them so much.
Yeah, I saw what Read Across the Stars posted about do girls have hobbies?
I've been trying to contribute to that. I'm just dying right now.
I sat there looking at it and I was like, how the fuck how are these dudes on the internet? And like,
so what they're going for is the girls who like, oh man, they're not nerds. Like just the ones who like go shopping and do their nails and do their makeup, and those are hobbies. Even if they're like, if they don't relate to your sports ball thing, that doesn't mean that that's not a hobby. Like, what?
Well, I laugh because like literally Read Across the Stars and I were supposed to do a Star Wars show like years ago doing the
I would
Grand
never
Admiral
publicly
Thrawn.
do a Star Wars show because male Star Wars fans are the worst.
Toxic. So we were going to do a Grand Admiral Thrawn, the Star Wars series that brought it all back in the novels. We were going to start talking that. They aired the Empire series. So you're saying you want to be a part of this because you want to be part of the toxicity. Grand Admiral Thrawn was like one of the greatest villains they could have brought into the series.
I dropped all of my vintage Doctor Who bookmarks just to show that this was not worth it.
I found something I gotta send Jen at some point. There is a Dr. Aphra statue that I didn't know existed.
Ooh.
I got her a first appearance of Dr. Aphra. I sent her my own copy, my one and only copy, and she threatened to kill me on live stream.
You just spoil everyone.
I don't. Like, so her affection for the character was way more than I ever had. Like, it was very important to her. So I was like, you know what? Like, I'll send it to her. Like, it meant way more to her than me. She also has a page of Batwoman art from J.H. Williams I sent her.
So, yes, you spoil everyone.
Again, important to that person.
Yeah, that's why you're spoiling them.
I don't think yours was spoiling. So for those who don't follow, I sent Tessa a page of Booster Gold art.
And Blue Beetle.
Because we're Team Blue and Gold, and it had Booster Gold and Blue Beetle on it.
That was my very first original comic page.
Like, my very first comic page is an Image Comics, like, Extreme Studios page of art. Which I'm talking about getting him on the show because, honestly, So he's a toy designer now for Batman toys.
That's so cool.
So he went from being a co-creator of Bishop to now being a toy designer for Batman toys. So I got a lot of stuff. And you said you wouldn't make it an hour.
Yeah, I did great.
So the interesting thing, like, so independent comics could be anything. So a lot of people outside the big two is that I would almost call the what are they calling it with DC? The Black Label.
Mm-hmm.
So The Last God by Philip Kennedy Johnson and Ricardo Federici is what probably would have been indie at some point.
I kind of think of indies as like outside of a large continuity. So most DC stuff is in the DC universe. And even like if you're thinking about big indies, if you're thinking about in the Invincible universe, or even probably now in the Radiant Black universe, I kind of think of those as not really indie because it encompasses so many things.
It's
so
too
yeah,
big.
I think that like Pride of Baghdad, I consider an indie. It's Vertigo.
Oh, Pride of Baghdad was...
It's owned by DC, but I definitely consider it an indie when I think about it.
We 3 is another one that I think is kind of slept on.
Definitely. Especially now. Yes, absolutely. Most people now don't know about it.
Grant Morrison had a book. It was a horror, almost Event Horizon book that came out for Image with Frank Quietly. This is where I come unprepared.
Well, while you Google, I'll shout out a few more indies that I love. I read Supper Club by Jackie Morrow. I believe that's Dark Horse Comics. For some reason, despite being someone who isn't a foodie, I really like comics and manga about food. And Taproot, it's called Taproot, a story about a gardener and a ghost, is adorable and gay and ghosty.
Nameless.
Frank Wiley did the art for that. I had no idea.
I'm double checking. Excuse me, Chris Burnham.
Okay.
The other frequent collaborator with.
You see, I could do a better job if you were more correct about things.
I have my faults. They all do Cyclops' chin very square.
That's how I rank my artists. Cyclops' chin and that alone.
So I gotta ask you, favorite Superman story? Totally off topic.
Okay, so I really like, oh no, what is it called?
So it's always like All-Star?
No.
All-Star or Superman for All Seasons?
I love Superman for All Seasons, and I do also like All-Star Superman. I really like Superman American Alien.
Really?
I know. I'm a flawed human being. I love Superman Up in the Sky by Tom King. I feel like my favorite Superman story is going to be something involved in the current stuff when it wraps up. This stuff has made me fall in love with Superman, and now I am like watching all the Superman movies and checking out. This is the first time I've delved into DC animated stuff because Philip Kennedy Johnson and Joshua Williams.
Philip Kennedy Johnson's run was so good.
They have inspired. They have lit a love for Superman inside of me, and so
I'm liking Josh Williamson's run so far.
All of them combined, even like Tom Taylor doing like the cute like John book. All of that stuff has like lit a Superman. Like I'm now a Superman fan, and I had Ryan watch all the Superman movies with me, and we're gonna watch Supergirl, and I've started watching DC movies.
Supergirl's bad.
I'm sure they are, but I'm having a good time with bad movies. Like, and also, people don't like. I don't know if it was Superman 3 or 4, but we had fun time watching it. Like,
4 is fun because it's so bad.
Yeah, I don't know. We were enjoying ourselves. And I was watching a bunch of animated stuff that I've never seen any DC animated stuff before, and I'm really enjoying it. But yeah,
Under
it's
the
the
Red Hood by
stuff.
Batman. The Batman one is so good.
I watched that.
Black Mask is like at his best during that book.
I want to read more Black Mask stories. I want his first appearance. I love Black Mask in the Harley Quinn movie. I know that's not a lot of people like that movie, but I love it, and I feel like everyone should enjoy Black Mask's performance in that. Like, he's just hamming it up.
I haven't read Gods and Monsters.
I haven't. I'm always drawn into the cover. Like, I feel like it really like stands out. So I keep meaning to. But right now I'm in my Superman era right now. So maybe this answer will change in like a month or two, but I am reading all of my Superman content right now.
So the thing I love about Superman for All Seasons is the feud that happened between DC's editorial and Tim Sale.
Are you gonna like ruin Tim Sale for me?
No, he almost walked off that book because he put his own dog in that book. And DC's like, you can't have him in there. It's not canon. So they got into a huge argument, and finally Jeff Loeb's like, just put the other fucking dog in there, and we'll have 2 dogs. Like literally, this was a huge. So now his dog is canon now because.
Fuck yeah, Tim Sale. Your dog is famous.
And he literally walked off the book because they wouldn't let him have his dog drawn into the book.
But I'm sorry, I assume you asked because you wanted to share your favorite Superman book.
It just happened to come up because you would mention something about. We were talking about Grant Morrison. It's either always All-Star Superman or Superman for All Seasons. And
actually, there's this book I adore so much that is very slept on. So it was published as one of those like square-bound DC issues. I think it has since been made into a hardcover, but it was a book that like was supposed to be printed and never got printed. And then at one point they were like, bam, let's put this as one of those like 80-page giants or whatever. But it's Man and Superman by Mark Waid. And I love it so much. I love it. Excuse you. I love it so much. It connects to the DC universe in one of my favorite ways where like I think like just like a speed goes by and it's like the Flash and it's like, oh, that was cute. But like I love Mark Waid. It's so good. Just check it out. Like you can read it for like $5. It's so good. And it's so slept on. Ugh, pain.
I wanted to talk also, you mentioned Mark Waid, and he actually took one of his JLA stories that got thrown out and went over to another publisher and did, I think it was Dynamite, a book called Irredeemable.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't know that was the story behind it. I feel like nobody should because he'll probably get in legal trouble.
Probably, but he talked about it, that it was a book that, like, literally he went there like, no, fuck no, you can't do this book. Because it was Superman basically going bad.
I heard Irredeemable was good. Haha, flash forward 30 years with Tom Taylor.
It was fun. Yeah, Tom Taylor, who did everything bad Superman.
Yeah, obviously I've read Injustice before, but when I reread it like a year ago or something to read like all of it, I have the omnibus and I was reading the, I don't know if it was a foreword or what, but he wrote something where he was like, I really love Superman and I was so excited that I got the opportunity to write Superman. And then my heart broke because DC was like, all you have to do is make Superman bad. It's like, I just want to write him good.
Well, it's funny because I've heard like Mark Waid in particular, like they at one of the conventions they always have like DC Comics trivia. He's unbeatable.
Mark Waid, or
yeah, no one's ever beaten Mark Waid at
interesting. Okay,
comics trivia, and it's funny to like because he literally had a heart attack during one of these trivia contests.
Tell me he still won.
And he didn't want his last words to be Bippo the monkey. And like, I shouldn't laugh at that, but I was like, that's kind of awesome. Like, that's the last thing. I didn't want like Detective Chimp to ever be on my tombstone ever.
You can put him on mine. It's fine.
So yeah, honestly, it's weird because indies, like, I follow creators more than I do the actual books.
100%.
Although again, a horror book comes out, it's always on my radar because horror is just.
Ryan would always make fun of me because I would read a book and then I'd immediately pull out my phone and like then I'm just like, if I like the book, because then I'm like, all right, cool, I gotta look up the writer, I gotta look up the artist, and then if I like art stuff, I'm gonna set up a bunch of stuff and.
Yeah. There's a bunch of like Riccardo Federici. When I finally found him on Last God, I was like, holy shit! Like, where the fuck is this guy? I've never seen an artist whose covers look like the interiors.
The fact that he does some DC interiors for like Superman interiors and stuff like that is insane. That is the level of stuff that we get sometimes.
The Last God is the sickest stuff I've ever seen inside of a book, like ever. And then Philip Kennedy Johnson going, "I'm gonna make my own Hobbit book."
I I hate epic fantasy. I hate Lord of the Rings. I hate all that stuff. So I'm gonna read this just because I love Philip Kennedy Johnson, but like I'm not looking forward to it because I hate all of that stuff.
No, it's literally better than it should be. It's
I'm gonna give it
honestly,
like a very honest, real shot, but I just
and the
hate all of it.
hardcover is at such a good price
Mhm.
because I think I got it for $40 off
I'm a
Amazon.
slut for a good hardcover.
Listen, I'll hold myself out for an omnibus that's at a good price too. I saw Greg bought the Gotham Central omnibus. I was like, that's my bitch.
I have that up there. Swoon. Sandwich between Tomb of Dracula and iZombie.
Oh, I have the epic.
I have Gail Simone Red Sonja up there and Lady Killer. Oh my god, I'm dumb. I should have mentioned.
Oh, Lady Killer. Fuck! How did I forget that?
Yeah, I've been trying to go through my like red books so I can remember stuff like Donuts and Doom, adorable and very queer. Why do I read so many books?
So Lady Killer, the second volume, was actually where Gambit and I live. That's where they
you were saying.
Located. And it's so crazy because it's like a welcome to Cocoa Beach, and I was like, holy shit, this got way too close to me. And Joelle Jones, her art, like, as much as I hate the Tom King run, her art, and also Clay Mann's made me forget about a lot of the sins. But Joelle, like even the wedding dress she designed for Catwoman.
I don't want to get married, but if I got married, that wedding dress. If I need to get married for like tax breaks or something, I'm wearing that. What else do you get married for? Healthcare, sure, yeah, maybe for healthcare.
I don't think healthcare is part of that. It's tax breaks.
No, if I don't have healthcare and you do, and we get married, then I can get on your healthcare.
Okay, I'm thinking about where I live. Like,
so don't get married in Florida. Got it. Don't live in Florida.
I literally live in like Westworld right now.
Yeah, I'll keep my Pennsylvania going strong.
Like the mortgage shit going on here, where like they just cancel your insurance for no fucking notice, and now the abortion stuff, and now we're getting.
I'm going through enough stuff on my own right now.
Well, luckily I have Sydney to remind me of everything going on in my state. Even though she doesn't live here anymore, she posts about it.
I know I mentioned a bunch of Chip Zdarsky books I like, but I did not. I failed to mention the All Nighter and Afterlift. They're both Comixology originals, and I've been liking the Comixology originals I've been reading so far. I just read Snow Angels.
Snow Angels was so good. I'm a huge fan of Jock, and then he put Jeff Lemire in the run.
Well, if you like Chip Zdarsky, those two are definitely worth checking out. They're very, very fun.
So weirdly, I've liked Zdarsky's run on Daredevil. I was okay with his run, but I like Tom Taylor's better on Spider-Man.
Are we talking Spider-Man Life Story, or are you talking Spectacular Spider-Man?
Spectacular.
Okay, I was gonna say Life Story is pretty phenomenal, in my humble opinion.
Then you get into his Batman run, which has been
campy and fun. What I read, I like his. Most people I enjoy their indie stuff more than their creator. That's not what I meant to say. I like their indie stuff more than their like big two stuff. There are obvious exceptions. I like Tom Taylor on big universes because I feel like he knows every character so perfectly. It's kind of insane. Yeah, I usually prefer people on their own books where you can tell they just really love it. I don't know.
I just want to make fun of you for saying I'm not going to make it 2 hours.
I was warning you. I mean, I started exhibiting fever symptoms once I started doing stuff for a while, and I could feel like my forehead is like heating up.
That's just me.
Going through all of yeah, all the way over here, like 2,000 miles away.
I don't know, it's 2,000, but like it's close-ish.
It's probably more like 1,600, 1,700. I'm
it's your
going
passion
through all
for
of
the
my
books.
You know what? I'm going through all of my red stuff, and there was one point a few months ago where I was like, I'm just gonna read every Buffy the Vampire Slayer book, so it's just Buffy.
There was a few good. So Cullen Bunn, Harrow County.
I haven't read that yet, and everyone tells me to.
So good, and Cullen Bunn is hit and miss. Like the Sixth Gun and Harrow County in particular, if you like Sabrina from Archie, is the book to read. And again, Tyler Crook's art on it is very good, catches the mood, the inker.
He's a very moody artist. I love it.
Yes, everything goes well with that. And it's witchcraft, it's spooky town. We all want a spooky town.
Animal Castle, the first issue of the second volume just came out like last week. It's very Animal Farm, but beautiful. I mean, the art is beautiful, not the concept.
I was gonna say Animal Farm was like not beautiful.
Oh, Eve, that miniseries by Boom. I never checked out the sequel series that just came out, but that was a great mini. Crema, very gay, very cute. Oh, I should bring up Hellphone. I mean, normal sound that people make. I believe this is a silver sprocket. This is a silver sprocket. This is smaller than your average. It would usually be like this tall. But it's very fun.
It's almost manga size.
It is.
It is.
It is this one. Yeah, it's like a sig.
Ooh, it's Runaway sized.
But it is it is like a haunted phone mystery, but it's all like very cutesy, cartoony, and like more cute, not actually horror with a horror concept. It's very fun. I really like it.
Oh wait, no, Runaways was shorter than manga.
What?
The Runaways trades were way smaller than manga.
They've been reprinted into like normal human being sized.
Yeah, human being size.
Oh, The Recount by Jonathan Hedrick. Anything by Jonathan Hedrick? Bunny Mask. Do you like Bunny Mask since you like making?
Yes, I did like that. Which is funny that you mentioned Jonathan Hedrick because I think I went to high school with him.
Oh, swoon. He and his wife, both swoons. Oh, I forgot to mention Fight Girls for AWA stuff. It was okay. It's not good, but it's fun. It's Frank Cho drawing monsters and hot girls.
So if Jonathan Hedrick's who I thought it was, then I did not get along with him in high school.
Oh, don't say that. He's been so nice to me. That'll make me so sad.
But he might have a brother that I went to because there was a Jack Hedrick I went to high school with. So I don't know if he went by Jack during high school.
Hopefully not. Have you read Basilisk? That's by Colin Bunn.
Sorry. I loved it.
Okay. That is definitely one of like my favorite things I've read by him. Oh, also, like we were saying, not indie, but indie, Nice House on the Lake, my favorite Tinian work.
Very much so.
But I
also love the lost aspect of it.
Mm-hmm.
Which I'm surprised that John's Comics didn't talk about enough because it's a lot of lost in there.
He probably just couldn't put all the bits together, you know? John thinking,
Oh.
Did you actually read, I'm extremely curious, did you hear what Eddie Gein done?
The what?
Oh god, who's the guy who did The Goon?
Oh, Eric Powell.
Yeah, he put out, it was just like one little hardcover, maybe also got a softcover, but it was called Did You Hear What Eddie Gein Done? All about Eddie Gein. And I'm the guy who like Texas Chainsaw and Psycho and all that stuff is based off of.
Ed Gein, yeah. Ed Gein, yeah.
But everyone was crazy about it. Like, one of the best horror comics ever. Like, people were like, this is amazing.
Even heard about it.
Horrifying. It came out like only like 2 years ago or something, but it was like, it was, people were obsessed with it. I read it and I was, like, it wasn't bad, but I was just kind of like, did I miss something? Did I read the same book? Maybe it was just overhyped. It was a little boring. So if you ever do read it, I would love to hear your thoughts. It's a quick read.
Well, Rabbit Eyes was another one that people were crazy about, and I was like, it's okay. Like,
I think they were only crazy about that because, like, the controversy with, like, the first issue and stuff.
Yeah, like, it was okay.
Because that's kind of, like, after people reading it, they're like, oh, whatever, but it was very much like, oh, my God, like, that's an error thing. Money.
So I will say the thing I like more the second book by the person, the Luana Vecchio. Bolero. Lovesick. I like Lovesick way more than Bolero.
I love Bolero.
Bolero was pretty, but Lovesick was just so weird and fucking twisted.
I need to finish Lovesick. I only read the first 3 issues? I figured I would read it in trade.
I just finished the series.
But I love Bolero so much. Lovesick, I felt very much more like it was about the art for me. But I feel like I wanted to kind of reserve it because it felt like it was just like a complete series, so I wanted to wait until I finished it.
Yeah.
Circling back to Jeremy Holt, I usually don't like romantic stuff, but Virtually Yours is very cute, and I want to be made into like a rom-com. But I would never watch it because I don't like watching things or rom-coms.
I know Ryan goes on about the Good Asian.
Yeah. I haven't finished it, but I loved it. I'm excited for the hardcover. His stuff is good.
I saw the hardcover's coming out.
I really like his stuff. Also, he does the Dead Boy Detective Sandman series, and the B covers for that. Have you seen the B covers? Dude, those are crazy. I'm obsessed with those.
I've been getting digital on those, so I don't know if I ever get the B covers or not.
You should just look at them. Like, they're insane. Like, I think it's, like, very mixed media, very weird, and very spooky. But I'm really into it. It's, like, horrifyingly beautiful.
Spooky.
Yeah.
Man.
Did you read May's book as a confused Jeff Lemire man?
No.
Oh, I don't have Delicacy out. I have Delicacy hiding where I have all my books from my spinner rack I don't even own yet, but Delicacy is a book I super love, just an OGN, but I did not really know where it was going, and that's always like a huge thing for me because I usually find books kind of predictable, but it was really pretty.
And the weird shit category, Black Hole by Charles Burns.
That has been recommended to me more than almost any other book.
So if you want like mutation STDs, this is the book for you.
Oh my god, I actually love mutation STDs. How did you know?
I kind of knew that going in. I was like, she's gonna dig this.
Maybe that's why you recommended it to me. Okay, that makes sense now.
We did a book club on it. It was myself, Pretty Nerdy, and Chaos and Comics doing that one. And Chaos and Comics, of course, made it a fun time. Because he always makes everything awkward way worse.
Hell yeah. Here for that energy.
Yeah.
Obviously, Made in Korea. That's one of Jeremy Holt. That is Jeremy Holt's biggest book.
I don't think other than... I don't know if I've ever read anything by Jeremy Holt.
Made in Korea is definitely the biggest thing. Virtually Yours was a Comixology original, and then Dark Horse book, Great Gatsby, just came out. They've done some like Marvel Voices stuff recently, so if you've read any of that, then maybe. I
think I knew him more from your posts about him.
Yeah, I really, I've been adoring their stuff. I feel like they're like a person to watch out for, you know?
Like, I feel like you're on him like I was with Joshua Williamson when he was first doing the horror books, because I was on Twitter like, oh my god, he's amazing. Like, he was sending me
I was all about Joshua Williamson. Oh, damn, look at you.
Yeah, on Twitter, like, I was pumping up Nailbiter and Ghosted constantly. Like, he sent me free signed books.
I love that. I've been super into him for a while. That's why I started reading that Flash run. Heart in a Box by Kelly Thompson. Great. So sad. I know. So good. I need to get more of the deluxe hardcovers. I'm only the first one. Mm-hmm. Heart in a Box by Kelly Thompson. Heartbreaking. Catboy. Very adorable and funny. I'm assuming the entire world knows about Heartstopper, but Heartstopper is a large recommendation.
Yeah, I've never read it. I just remember Mars was going on and on about it, and
so I don't like romance stuff. I'm a horror girl. I don't really like romance stuff. I picked up the first one because a bunch of cute girls on Instagram were reading it, and I wanted to be friends with them. So I got the book, and I was like, oh, I can post this, and then we can be like, tee-hee, look, I read this thing. Let's talk. Let's be friends. And so I was like, I'll read a few pages so I can tell people I started it, and it'll be honest. I stayed up all night, finished the entire book. I looked at the nearest store near me that had the next volumes. The closest one was like over an hour away. So that morning I woke up at 5 a.m. I drove all the way down there, read the second one in the parking lot, and then I drove all the way home with the other one. And I read that once I got home. I was so into it.
It feels like me with Scott Pilgrim. Like I was on my way to San Diego Comic-Con. I read all 5 volumes, picking up 6 at the Comic-Con.
That's adorable.
And I ended up going to the premiere of the of the movie.
It's just super cute, and it's such a fast read.
like Heartstopper is one of those ones that everybody was going on about. I was like, I don't know if I want to watch this.
It's so fast. Like I made Ryan read it. I went up to Washington for Emerald City Comic Con, and Ryan was nice enough to cart me around. And one day while he was chilling while I was at the con,
this is all about romance.
Not. I find it so. I hate that it's forced into every story. I hate it so much. So just leave it alone.
I don't think Friday the 13th has any romance.
I have romantic endeavors.
Or Halloween, except for when Michael Myers raped his niece.
Yeah, hot. Yeah. But he read the first one while I was at the con the one day, and he was like, "All right, yeah, that's like really cute." And he read the whole thing while I was at the con, so quick. Also, you're going to hell.
What? How am I going to hell?
What do you mean, why? Do you want, like, a list of reasons? I can't count that high.
I mean, your reasons were other people's reasons.
I think it all counts.
Yeah, like, some maybe, some not. I don't know. So we've hit the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, I'm starting to die. My head's hurting really bad.
Yeah.
I think it's time for a tap out.
Though
you were so organized this time. I feel bad. I wish I set stuff aside.
I honestly was very mad because I took a bunch of diet pills today.
Diet pills?
Yeah.
Don't do that.
Yeah. Anyway, like I just threw a stack of shit on my table where I normally my dining room where I do all this from. I don't dine in here, but
what is the large poster right behind you?
It is Friday the 13th. It's Jason popping out of the lake.
Oh, okay, I see it now. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I was like, wait, which poster? And then I've got my friend's Wonder Girl that he did behind me. I've been expecting a Tessa is a need live video.
I assume nerd. Yeah, I haven't been doing as much content as usual. I'm going through some health issues right now. Been getting pricked up every day, but hopefully.
And now dealing with a prick.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, my life is so hard. But maybe I'll start doing more lives instead of created content in the meantime, because this is a lot easier than trying to stare at a screen and like edit and stuff. So maybe I'll do some more lives next week.
I hate editing with a passion. Like, holy shit! Oh my god, I fucking hate editing.
Yeah, maybe I'll start doing some like live shows.
And then hearing myself talking back to myself, where I'm like, yeah.
Yeah, Ryan is saying was mentioning the other day that I always put on like a bunch of makeup for like lives and stuff. I was like, yeah, dude, because I have to like look at myself for lives, and I really don't like looking at myself for that long. Helps. You're popular, man. Look at you.
No, Nat just realized that it wasn't Western time and it was Eastern.
Nice.
So she was gonna come on with us.
Blowing up.
It's so stupid.
Well, hey, I applaud you if you try to keep going and just do a show with her.
Fuck no. I mean, I didn't say that.
It would be impressive. Good stamina.
I'm drinking dragon's milk, and it's very strong.
What a name!
It's like 15% alcohol.
Yeah, but it's called dragon's milk.
11%, sorry. Yeah. So it's hitting a little harder than normal.
Just tell her to take some shots. Do a drunk show.
Done that.
And I'm sure you'll do it again.
Yeah, tomorrow night with John. Actually, I have to be at work at like 8 a.m. on Saturday, so it'll be a me being behaved night.
No, I'm really excited to check it out. That as soon as I read that concept, I was like, damn, all right, this is gonna be like a fun one.
Yeah, it's curious who's gonna go first because it could be very, very interesting or bad. Because
I would like to do that with comics at some point. I feel like that would be really fun.
yeah, especially if you picked out a theme.
Mm-hmm.
Like, hey, we're gonna do horror comics or superhero comics or
Those are the two themes. Those are the two genres of comics.
no, I'm just
I know. I'm being
those are
sorry.
the first two that come. So like
They're the most important ones.
I'm in superhero burnout now. Like
I go back and forth pretty hard. Like I just binged like almost all of Wonder Woman Rebirth, and now I'm like, all right, cool. I'm reading like Under the Dome and a bunch of indies is like a palate cleanser.
so I have a advanced copy of Under the Dome still from when I worked at Barnes and Noble. Like that fucking book is dense and gigantic.
It's dense, but it goes so fast. Like sometimes Stephen King books like take a bit to get into. Not this one. Like I'm like only 300.
Oh no, the beginning was really good.
Oh, don't tell me it gets bad because I'm like 300 pages in and I love it. It's like one of my favorites from him.
It gets ambivalent.
Yeah, that's it. He does that. That's fine.
Like it's just kind of you get to the end, you're like, eh.
Well, like 1/3 of the way through,
your emotions,
jam.
Your emotions don't met. Like the dude with all the dead bodies in his fucking play shack is fucked up.
What? Oh, like in the yeah, okay, I got you.
Yeah.
It's like in the middle of the kitchen. I was like, wait, so dude has like a shed of bodies? Question. Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's in the kitchen,
or maybe
but like still, yeah. Like he's got his peoples,
his friends, his girlfriends.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah, I have Firestarter and Mr. Mercedes. I still need to read that I picked up recently, but
so Mr. Mercedes is awesome because it ties into it.
I will probably read it someday after I go through a bunch of other books that I actually want to read, but I don't really have an interest in it. I know it's great. I know it's amazing. I should read it. I get it. I've heard it before. Yeah. I don't really want to read the group scene with sex with 14-year-old girl. I don't really want to read that much of a book about some demon clown from outer space. I know it's a different dimension. Whatever.
That even reading it before part 2 came out, I was like, this never gets better.
So Under the Dome, I was definitely a little daunting because it's so thick. I started it now because I'm spending a lot of time in the hospital and stuff. So like, oh, this is a good thing to read while I'm like waiting around and I'm in like a bed. It's like I look at it and I'm like, I don't really want to read all of that. Like if it was half the size, maybe.
So the whole like weird scene, is maybe 10 pages.
Why?
It doesn't need to be. I'm just counting everything leading up to it and then the exiting of it. But it's so unnecessary. I don't know why the fuck it's there. I don't know what it contributed to them getting out of the fucking sewer.
Okay.
And I don't know.
I mean, I definitely believe you. Like, Under the Dome, the first 100 pages was just about the dome coming down. Like,
Perry.
Ew. Hand pink, waving hand pink. Waiting.
Congratulations on all your subscribers, Perry. I saw your post the other day about all of your gaming now. Like, that's insane. You're over like 6K.
Oh, damn. Sweet, dude. Good job.
Yeah.
I want to start streaming so bad. I just don't think my laptop's going to handle both streaming and like the actual game.
I've got Lenovo, so that's definitely not going to. And of course, if you have a Mac, that's not going to happen.
I do not have a Mac.
Handpick gaming. I mean, that's the thing. Perry was even surprised how fast he hit it.
Well, there are a lot more gaming nerds than comic nerds.
Yeah, but also like he's doing God of War and stuff like that, and like his shorts are awesome, actually, even that he's posting on Instagram of everything. Like, Perry knows how to market himself. I haven't figured that out. I've ignored everybody.
But hell yeah, dude, that's awesome. Good for you.
I just kind of keep doing my own thing and figuring it out as I go. And by figuring it out, not figuring it out. Like, I'm just gonna be that like little place on the outside, be like, I'm gonna do what I do. If it hits, it hits. If it doesn't, like, I mean, Jen hit 1,000 so fast before when she left my channel.
Hell yeah! I didn't know you guys like shared one.
She was a guest.
I was
host
gonna ask
me.
where your name came from, so that doesn't make sense.
She was a guest host for like a year, and then she started her own channel and left eventually with Mars and did their thing. And
do they still do their show? I haven't seen it in a while.
They're both having personal things going on. So
yeah, like
I actually asked Mars to be on tonight.
Oh, I love Mars. I don't think she likes me that much, but
She
I
said
really
she
like
had
her.
too much personal stuff going on, and Jen was not feeling up to it.
I would love to do a show with Mars. I want to be friends with her.
The shows I've done with her, she's been drunk, and it was a little too much for me.
Well, I can handle girls too much. Don't worry. You can't handle the girls are too much? I got them.
No. Like, she got super drunk. We did 2 drinking shows for Christmas or it was New Year's and Thanksgiving. And one of them got too much.
Man, I am unfortunately a heavyweight, and I hate it.
I'm somewhere in the middle. Like, I'm a happy drunk. So I don't get too
definitely like happy when it happens, but like it just takes a lot to get me
caught
drunk,
up in my
especially if it's
feelings. I think the worst was when I did that Batman live stream with everybody on John's channel, and that's probably the drunkest I've gotten.
I am my regular silly self. Especially, I'm not even 5 foot. I am very small.
Really?
I just take. Yeah, I know. Yes, I know. I exude tall girl energy.
I know that's a thing.
But I'm like just shy of 5 foot.
I know we've had the discussion before.
Yeah, tiny girl. But because of that, you would think that, oh man, I took 2 sips and now I'm drunk. Meanwhile, I take like, at a thing recently, I did 9 shots and 3 like Mike's Harders because someone had them, and 2 rum and cokes, and I was like, medium, like not really drunk.
And then told them why Justice Society is awesome.
Tell them how Justice Society is awesome?
I said, I can see you getting drunk, but listen, let me tell you about Justice Society and Hawkman.
That is what has actually happened, though, because nobody in my life likes comics, and I'll just be like, wait, okay, so I know you don't like this, but can I just tell you about this thing for like 2 seconds, and then we can let it go. I definitely get surprises from Drunk Tessa. Like, some people drunk call their ex. I drunk buy comics, and like a few days later, a little package will appear, and I'll be like, ooh. But no, I remember there was
Blu-rays. I've bought so many bad movies. That's why I have freaking Slumber Party Massacre 1 and 2.
I want to watch that. But I know
next time we come to Florida, let's watch it.
Hell yeah, Slumber Party.
Get your dad to watch it with us.
Oh, he'd try. But that, like, when my shop bought an AF-15, I got drunk the night after that, and I was like, guys, wait, I know you don't like comics, but I feel like maybe you'll appreciate this because, like, you like money, and this is a lot of money, but, like, this is such an important part of history. And they're all being so nice. We're like, wow, Tessa, yeah, that's amazing. When? How old is that? Like, they were being so sweet. I'm just like, this is so cool. What's up?
Dinner time.
Are you?
Yeah, it's okay. What's up?
I thought I heard Becca in here. I'll leave you alone.
I see you got your measuring tape. Good job. Just so you know, last time we went live, my roommate here screamed, Becca, just squeeze my tit! And I had to message her and be like,
I loudly screamed, Becca, touch my tit.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I don't know if you heard that, but the clarification was Becca, touch my tit.
There's...
To which I was messaging them like, hey, and I was about to go on that Lila Star podcast, and I was just like, hey, guys, that's okay during this one, because we show, like, pictures of Namor railing Sue Storm on an octopus. But, like, hey, let's not do that on the other one, please. The other dude doesn't know me.
Real quick, though, I played the T-Dragon card game, and it's so much fun. Okay, that's it.
I'm glad you had fun. Sorry.
By the way, The Dungeons and Dragons movie was fun. There's a fat dragon in it that can't fly and it rolls around.
Baby. I heard that it was like actually fun and like I don't want it to be a great movie. I just want it to, you know.
It's funny. It's a chunky boy.
Chunky boy.
Literally, it's rolling down. Little tiny wings can't fly him.
I love that.
It's good.
Dan, how tall are you?
5'10".
Do you know how tall Charizard is?
No.
Charizard is 5'7". You're taller than Charizard. You're taller than a fire-breathing dragon. I hope that makes you feel pretty cool.
Thank God.
You would be looking down on him.
Now in the last couple of shows, I found out you were taller than my ex, and I'm taller than Charizard. Also. Thank God. I think this is a good note to end on.
Yep. Yeah, anybody who is watching this, if you are taller than 5'7", congratulations. Taller than Charizard.
Thank you, everybody who came on to watch tonight.
Comment your favorite Pokemon. Mine's Dreamy.
Really, I figured you'd be a Squirtle. Just because you go Squirtle, Squirtle.
I do love. I love Pokemon. Honestly.
I've been playing the new Zelda, so that's my. I just got a Switch finally, so that's my experience.
I'm playing Scarlet and Violet with Ryan, and I just got my Dreepy today, and I'm very happy.
I kind of want to make fun of Ryan for playing it, but I just know it'll rotate to something else that he'll make fun of me for, so I'm just.
He's making me happy, and I'm just a little girl in the hospital. Bye, guys.
Have I not been pleasing you?
Oh.
No, I mean.
Bye, guys.
With my encouraging messages. Thanks everybody for watching. Bye. Phrasing.